This is a download from BFM 89.9, the business station.
Hello, this is Tech Talk and I'm Frida Liu. In the days of high level of awareness against scammers and fraud thefts, it's quite hard to imagine people are still falling for the scam. Same old Nigerian family with wealth that is desperate to get out a large sum of cash out of the country with your help. Well, here with me today is my favorite storyteller, Krishna Rajagopal, the CEO of AKATI Consulting. It's good to have you back again.
Thank
and you come up with all these amazing stories, and they're not stories, they're real things. Now, do these scams still have an effect, though?
Yes, it's still quite rampant, Frida. And
people are still falling for the
Yes,
Nigerian.
thousands and thousands of people in Malaysia. And of course, probably even much more in terms of statistics across the globe. And the thing is, you have all kinds of scams. You have fake accident scams, real car accident scams. You got charity scams, you got insurance scams, you got investment scams.
I had one just recently, a friend of mine whose ID has been hijacked, and they say we're stuck in Spain,
Exactly.
and all this sort of thing. And I said, really? Then I just had to play around with them as well. Tell me what's your local number, then I will make sure that I'm talking to the right person. I know it's not the right person.
Exactly.
But anyway.
But the thing is, when you hear a story like that, an average person or the listeners right now listening in, they'll say, that's such an obvious scam. Why did that person fall for it? But when you're in that particular situation, you have to remember that these scammers are polished and they're professional scammers.
They do this for a living.
Exactly. Yep.
They've accumulated 10,000 hours, as mentioned by, what's his name? Okay. Okay. Today we're talking about Furikomesagi. Is that a Japanese dish?
Hi. We're talking about Furikomesagi, but unfortunately it's not a Japanese dish. Yeah. It's the Japanese word for bank transfer fraud. Furikome means bank transfer and sagi means fraud. It's not sake. Yeah.
Okay.
And it usually involves a kind of a phone call, to gullible, unsuspecting victims.
It's happening here. Yes.
Right? And what happens is usually they exploit the trust of family members. And in short, basically what Furikomesagi does, or bank transfer fraud, is they trick people into believing a situation and into depositing money through the use of, phone calls, email, social media messages, whatever.
Okay, paint me this picture. What actually happens? I know you must have heard of some people who...
Yes. So what I'll do is, I've actually have a real case.
Okay.
That was shared to me through a good friend of mine, Wai Ming. And I think it happened to his friend. And he did share with me that it even happened in one other situation to his own mother, who he calls a digital dinosaur. But what actually happens in this particular situation was... it was good because this user was alert, right? He didn't fall prey. Now, he says he received a call from a lady, and the number shown on the mobile phone was +25 something. This lady spoke in Malay and informed that she was from Post Malaysia, right? She read out my name and IC number and then informed that there were 2 High Court letters addressed to me but could not be delivered, right? Now, she says she will fax the letters to a police station and will request the personnel from the police station to contact me. Right? She gives a reference number for this postal delivery, and she says it's 49951 according to the user, and asks me to check with the police personnel that will call later to ensure that they are the correct person acting on my case. Right? 10 minutes later,
a call comes from Bukit Aman.
Exactly. Right? Someone who identifies the person himself as... or herself as Madam Chia, speaks in Malay, saying that person is from Bukit Aman. And the number shown is 032266 222. And that is Bukit Aman's number. So he says, I know this is a scam, so what he did was he spoke rudely to her, right? He raised his tone, right? She got angry and said if I don't believe her, to call her back, or call back the number to verify and hang up. So he did a search and found out the number is correct. It's Bukit Aman. But he kept on searching and he realized that instead of calling using his mobile phone, he used Skype to call that number. And when he did, a Malay lady picked up and he checked whether it was Bukit Aman, and it was. Now, in between, of course, the scammers tried calling and leaving missed calls, right? giving you the impression that it's urgent.
Yeah.
All right. And this particular user did some search on the net and found out that apparently if you call back from mobile phone, you're connected to the syndicate. But if you call using a landline or some kind of VoIP service, then you're connected to the real Bukit Aman. It's a kind of case of caller ID spoofing as well as phishing.
How did that happen?
It's interesting though. Now, apparently, he used the landline, called the number again, spoke to the real Bukit Aman. A male police officer answered the phone. He told him his story, and the police officer confirmed it's a scam. Right? And he said that many victims have called them on that day, and they're working with the MCMC, Multimedia Commission, to investigate. So let's hope they come up with a good solution. But this happened last week, so this is a serious problem that's happening right now. Now, it may not be Bukit Aman, it may be a bank, it may be postal service, it can be any type of organization, but the scene and the trend is the same.
And then you fall prey to it because you are thinking, oh, I'm in trouble with the law, I have to go to court.
Exactly. See, the idea here is this. These guys are good at what they do. They say anything, and they target at everyone. Their aim is to get to your wallet. And of course, emotions is the best way.
So this is for real, it actually happens.
Yes.
All right. And are these type of cases just happen in Malaysia only?
Sadly high.
Okay.
Again,
Again,
yeah. These cases sort of polymorphed themselves into different types of cases, yeah. And there are different types of or different flavors of Furikomesagi, yeah. Loads of Malaysians are falling prey to this, yeah. Some of them, end up buying a brick for an iPhone, fall in love with the wrong person, but the scenes are different, the scenarios are different, but the goal and the aim is the same. Furikomesagi.
If these intelligent people could just do these things for good, I tell you, we are very innovative. We're such an innovative country.
Something like the leadership talk that we were just listening earlier.
For good. I'm here with Krishna Rajagopal, the CEO of AKATI Consulting, talking about scammers and Furikomesagi. And in just a moment, we'll get his superhero headgear on. Tech Talk BFM 89.9. It's Tech Talk. Good afternoon. Frida Liu here. And Krishna Rajagopal, the CEO of AKATI Consulting. We're discussing Furikomesagi and their way of scamming via mobile phone calls. Now, with a name like that, obviously originated from Japan. Now, does it happen mostly in Japan?
Well, it happens everywhere. But in Japan, you're right. The cases are more rampant in Japan, and it's probably due to the fact that their cultural upbringing with their group-based society. So they have this tendency of trusting people easily, right? And the same thing happens here in Malaysia as well, because we Malaysians are a bunch of people that feel empathy quite easily, and we trust people very quickly. How many times do you get these people that come to your shops and while you're having dinner? Now, some of them are real, some of them are not. Right, I even had this case once where in 2 weeks apart on the same shop, I met the same guy who was supposedly blind, and on the second instant, he actually told me, "Bang, minggu lepas bagi RM1, kenapa hari ni 50 sen?" So
maybe he could smell you.
Yeah, probably.
You had a very distinct scent.
And that was the time I realized that. But it still doesn't stop Malaysians from giving.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Which is not a bad thing. But if it involves someone asking some personal information or money from you, just hang up or simply decline. That's the easiest thing.
Okay. Now, there are also similar types of scams whereby they hack into your social accounts like Facebook and demand for similar ransoms.
Oh, yes. Now, the thing is, Facebook, Twitter, they're powerful, widespread media, right? And hence, it makes perfect sense for the scammer to target these social media platforms for their operations. So, we had an example of a case where our client was a very prominent church pastor. And he got his Facebook and Gmail account hacked.
Wow.
Right? What happened was these scammers then pretended to be him and posted on the wall saying that I've just been robbed. Thank God I'm alive. But all my money and wallet is gone. Now, of course, a lot of people will feel empathy. And immediately people started commenting, "Are you okay? What can we do to help?" And he replied, "Email to my Gmail account." And of course, people know his Gmail is the right Gmail. But they've also hijacked that. And now from the Gmail account, he'll give you a Western Union or Friends Bank account number. And there you go, Furikomesagi again.
Okay, now with that, a bank account number, can't you from there then trace who the culprit is?
Yes. But the thing is, a lot of these cases go on and people get affected and they blame it on God. They don't really, take a step to go ahead. And some of these cases are actually abroad, right? So that's why Western Union cases are tough to track back.
I see.
That is a problem.
Okay. So what do we do to protect ourselves?
Right.
I'm sure the Japanese have created some sort of superhero character.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's talk about protection. Now, every one of us has or will be approached by a scammer at some stage. We all had that, yeah?
Your number is up. You will be there.
You will be approached, yeah. And these scams are easy. Some are easy to spot, but some are, they appear to be genuine offers, right? Now, most scams have one thing in common. They need you to do something before they are successful. So you may have to send some money, right, based on a promise that is probably false. Or you give your personal details to someone that is a scammer, right? Or someone relies on you to agree on a particular detail with your credit card details.
Yeah.
Then they charge you for that. Yeah. Whatever the scam is, there are some simple rules to go by. Yeah? The first thing is never, ever, ever send money or give credit card or your bank details to anyone you don't know or you don't trust. Right? Do not send any money or pay any fee to claim any prize or lottery.
You're not
Right?
that lucky.
You're not that lucky.
You know, one thing good, sometimes America the good. That's why when the moment you say you want money from me, no.
That's a good protection.
Even if I know you in my face, no.
So the good thing is, of course, I mean, let's put it this way. Let's say the stars are shining bright and you do win a lottery.
Yeah.
They would probably ask you to walk into the office.
True.
So, there's no one who's actually going to call in. And remember that money laundering is a criminal offense. So do not agree to transfer money for someone, right? And there are cases where what they do is they accidentally overpay you and then they ask you to return back. Now, in that kind of situations, make sure your checks have been cleared first before you agree on sending, right? And try not to pass on any chain letters on any pyramid scheme or whatever. You could lose your money, you could lose your friends, you may even lose your marriage, right? And
you have a story around that.
yeah, but I don't think that person will be very happy with me telling that story. But the last thing to sum it up, don't ever give out any personal information, credit card information, bank details over the phone, right? Unless, I'm a believer that I don't really like doing credit card transactions over the phone. I'd rather walk in or do it online if I've entered the URL myself, right? And try not to open any suspicious, unsolicited emails, right? We call them spam, right? It doesn't have to be Viagra or Cialis only, right? And some of these spams, they will tell you if you want to unsubscribe, please reply. Don't even do that. Because once you reply, they know you're active. That email address is active. And they'll target you. So just don't do anything. Delete them.
Delete.
Right? And if you want to access any kind of website, checking your credit card details, your transactions or your bank, always type the address in yourself.
Takes a bit of work, but never mind.
It's always better to be safe.
Okay. Will we see a superhero here in Malaysia to fight against scammers?
See, talking about superheroes, Japanese are known for superheroes. So they actually did, obviously from all the famous Ultramans, Doraemons, right? So they actually created a superhero to fight Furikomesagi.
Oh.
He's called Kurikoman.
Okay.
Yeah. He's very cute, very funny, right? But the Japanese have gone above that. Now, Nagoya University and Fujitsu actually did a research, and the research basically can actually identify situations in which one party can actually overtrust another party over the phone. It detects your changing of volume and pitch. The moment it does that, of course right now it's going through testing, but the moment it does that, imagine if your phone says beware alert, right, fraudster. That'd be cool, Unfortunately, we don't have Furikoman in Malaysia, right? But who knows, maybe a grown-up version of Upin and Ipin maybe, that educates the public about these scams. Right?
Wouldn't it be weird though if you called me in and beware scammer?
That'd be cool, And in the end, of course, if you're always suspicious of something, Bank Negara's Telelink is there. That's 1300 88 5465. Or you can always call us, our office, 0392367297. You can speak to me if you suspect something is fishy or scammy. We'll probably confirm it for you.
Fishy or scammy. Call Krishna Rajagopal, the CEO of AKATI Consultant and a part-time superhero himself. Tomorrow's Tech Talk, Alan Soon, head of Yahoo Southeast Asia editorial, talks about social bar and how he has increased traffic to more than 600%. The Hollies are up next. BFM 89.9.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to bfm.my or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9, the business station.